Edel 001 TV with your captain, your guy here, Caleb Momanyi, Mungasia. Once again, we're about to have the conversation for the day. But before we do that, we want to do some moving on. A quick reminder is no matter how your day has been, finally we got our time here to have a conversation. Finally we have our time here to have our talk. This is where we belong. All right, I think now it's time for us to start our conversation. If there is something that you may wish to contribute to this talk, for the meantime, you drop it in the comment section below and I'll read that. But in the near future, we'll have a call-in show. So you will be able to make a phone call into our studio, and then you can share with us your thoughts. Now, the title of our show is They Got This, Keep. Otherwise, think twice. In our default settings, human beings are social creatures. We live with people. Our lives and our interactions from one day to another is with people. Family, friends, colleagues at work, colleagues at business, at our business premises. Even when we are traveling, we travel with people. And even for the extreme introvert, that still is a social being. And that is the basis of our conversation today. The person we are, the people we are, the people we become. Depends on the kind of people that we interact with, the kind of people we allow to get into our inner circles. And so today, we want to focus on a few aspects, few but very important aspects that we should pay closer attention to when deciding the kind of people we allow into our inner circles. And we have to make it intentional. The first thing, the people we allow into our inner circles, they must be intellectually challenging. Have you ever had a conversation with someone that you didn't like because they have a shallow mind? How do you define somebody with a shallow mind? Their focus is only on people and petty issues. Am I saying that we should not talk about people and issues? No. But that should not be the basis of all our conversations. The people we allow into our circles must be intellectually challenging. We want to have meaningful conversations, but we're not going to have any meaningful conversation if the people we are allowing into our circles have a shallow mind. Now, people who have a shallow mind, mostly you will find them on Netflix, watching TV all day long. They do not read books. They do not listen to meaningful podcasts. They don't watch meaningful shows. And because for someone to be intellectually challenging or intellectually competent, their mind must be right. And the quality of a mind, the health of our mind depends on what we feed, because conversations stem from the mind. It is in the mind that we construct meaningful words before we finally utter them out to other people. And beyond looking at the people we allow into our circles in terms of their intellectual capacity, I think we also need to look inward. We decide to have these people with whom we can have solid conversations about health, about the economy, about education, about the status of everything that's going on in the world that impacts human life. We should not forget that we too need to be the right people. We therefore need to be intellectually competent. And how can we achieve this? When is the last time that you read a book? And here, I'm not talking about science fiction. I'm talking about a book about real issues, real masses that affect human life. There are so many subjects. Books have been written. Authors have spent their time, sleepless nights, to pen down their research findings. But we don't read. If we must be intellectually competent, we must read meaningful books. Even if you're a Christian, you're not going to tie yourself to only reading the Bible and spiritual books and singing. There's more to life than just reading the Bible and spiritual books and the hymns. Let us work on our minds so we can be intellectually competent, so that whenever we come into a conversation with someone, we can also add value to the talk. Nothing feels so draining like engaging with someone who has a blackout in terms of knowledge blackout. A famous speaker said that in an information age, the choice to be, it's your choice to be ignorant. That means today we have much access to information compared to the times of our great-grandfathers or grandfathers, and of course our parents. It's up to you, it's up to me to feed our minds, to read, to listen to podcasts, meaningful podcasts, to watch content that replenishes our minds. It's our duty. And maybe when it comes to, say, watching content, it has to be meaningful content. You're not going to spend all your day watching Maria and soap operas and then you expect that you can be intellectually competent. That won't happen. We should be watching things like documentaries, things about healthy, things about farming, things about business, something that builds our minds and challenges us to get to the next level. If the people that you are allowing to get into your circles don't care about improving their intellect, you got no business with such people. Yes, you've got no business with such people because they're going to drain you. They're going to suck all the energy out of you. And any conversation you want to have, that means you're going to be the only person leading that conversation. Let's do something about it and carefully choose the people we allow into our inner circles of life. I hope we're together. Another thing that I think is very important, if they got this, keep. Otherwise, think twice. Emotionally consistent. Human beings have emotions, but some people allow themselves to be carried way too far by their emotions. And what do I mean here? We cannot bank on emotions and expect to survive. We can only bank on logic, because logic breeds reality. When we are making decisions, we don't make decisions based on our emotions. We make decisions based on logic, because that is what is actionable. Now, the people we allow into our lives, into our inner circle of life, should be emotionally consistent. Can they contain their emotions? Can they act calmly when situations are challenging, or they are going to be the kind of people when the world is falling apart, they want to run away and leave you alone? If the people you have in your circles are always carried by the emotions and they can hardly embrace logic, it could be time for you to think twice. Because if you don't, they're going to drag you into the emotional world and you're going to lose your logic. And once you lose your logic, you lose reason and you're going to make impaired judgments. Now, we all know where impaired judgments lead. They lead to a journey of self-destruction. Now, we don't want that. We want to be on a path of self-improvement. We want to be on a path of making our lives better. And for you, if you are carried by your emotions, there is work for you to do. As much as we expect other people not to be carried by emotions, we too should not be carried by emotions. Let us learn the art of reasoning and the art of approaching matters with logic. Now, if we are intellectually deficient, we will not have the capacity to even control our emotions. But you realize when you make intentional efforts to improve your mind, even the ability to contain your emotions falls into place. Let us not allow people who are carried by emotions to carry the day in our lives. We can do better. Empathy. The people we allow into our lives should be good empathizers. It is one thing to have mercy and sympathy on someone. It is totally a different thing to have sympathy and take an action to improve somebody's condition. We all know those people who can be dining on the table, their house cat, their pet is beneath the table. It's all meow, meow, meowing. It's hungry, but you have a plate full of food. You have your delicious meal, but the pet is hungry, and you know by its reaction, but you're doing nothing about it. Instead, the best that you can do, because you want to look like now kind of a modern person, you're giving the cat kicks. It's even much worse for dogs. You want the dog to protect you at night, and back when an intruder is coming, but when you're supposed to feed the dog, you aren't feeding the dog. If the people we are allowing into our circles cannot empathize, think twice. And if you are that person who lacks good empathy, then you also need to work on yourself. Remember, at the beginning of this show, I mentioned that we are social beings. And sometimes you'll find yourself in a position to assist someone get out of their mess. But you walk away when perhaps you are the only person who could have bailed out this person. If the people that you have in your circles, especially in your inner circle, are not good empathizers, that is to say, they're not people who have a heart to help someone, I'm afraid those are not the right kind of people to have. Think twice. Well, honesty is a virtue. Unfortunately, it is largely lacking, intentionally or on purpose, from most of us. We all want to have relationships and work with people who are honest. But are we honest? Are we honest ourselves? Somebody is supposed to attend a meeting at 10 o'clock in the morning. They're at home, they've not taken a shower, they've not prepared their clothes, they've not cleaned their shoes, but when they pick the phone call, they're like, I'm on my way. Come on, people. We need people who are honest in our circles. And if that's what we want, we must reciprocate. We must be honest to ourselves. We must be genuine. We must be truthful. It is not easy, but it is possible. We lie too much. In exchange, because a man reaps what they sow, people also lie to us too much. We end up complaining that these people are lying to us, whereas in the real sense, we are the record holders of deceit. Honest begins with oneself. We may wonder how true it is that we attract what we are. It may not apply 100%, but I believe, I have the conviction that we are likely to attract what we are in most cases. If the people we are working with are not honest, we need to think twice, because deceit and honest are not twins. They are sons who originate not from a common ancestor. Deceit and honest, they travel in parallel lines. They do not have a meeting point. It could be better for us to be one or the other. We can't be both. I think that's something that we need to consider when we are choosing the kind of people we are allowing into our circles. Ambition is important for human life. Are the kind of people you interact with, are the kind of people in your inner circle ambitious? Or you're going to bring about an idea and they're going to rubbish it off? It is not healthy for us to work with people or for us to bring people who are not ambitious into our inner circles of life. Ambition triggers progress. It triggers creativity and innovation. It's out of ambition that humanity solves problems. But if the people we have in our circles are only going to associate with us by the virtue of us accepting them as our friends and nothing much, we could be in the wrong company. Why is it important for us to accept people who are ambitious? These are people who can challenge us to scale the heights. Remember, man rises no higher than his vision. And if the people we have around have a myopic thinking, they do not think beyond their nose, so long as if they're living somewhere in town, so long as they can eat food, dress, and pay their rent, the medical cover, they're comfortable, we are in the wrong company. When we have ambition, many times it's not about us. It's about for the good of the whole society. Birds of the same feather flock together. Now you tell me, how are you gonna flock together with people who do not have ambition? People who are not interested in what you're pursuing. You know, that's like running a race. You're running towards victory, then they are running opposite direction. And because there are many, they overweigh you, you're heading in the right direction, but you decide to change your mind and say, perhaps I should join them, joining the majority in the wrong direction. If the people we have closer to us are not ambitious, it could be time for us to think twice, because this could not be the best people for keeps. Self-improvement and personal development is a must. We should not have any negotiation about it, more so when we are intentional about the people we are allowing into our circles. If somebody is not interested in improving themselves, you can be sure they cannot be interested in you improving yourself. If somebody is not interested in their personal development, if somebody is not interested in making their lives better, you can be sure they are not interested in you developing your personality. If anything, whenever they're going to see you on the journey to self-improvement, whenever they're going to see you focusing on personal development, they're going to drag you, they're going to hold you back, because they will fear that once you develop yourself, that once you attain a heightened level of personal development, they will no longer fit in your circles. So they could wish you be at the same level when you are destined for greater heights. Now, how do you know somebody who is not concerned about self-improvement? I term them hand-to-mouth kind of people. These are the people who do not want to hear the truth. They want to be told what's pleasing to them. Example, they know very well that they are gaining weight at a very fast rate, and these people, maybe they are drinking too much yogurt, eating hamburger, eating cakes, eating lots of deep fried foods with seed oils. They're gaining the weight. If it's a man, the belly is protruding. They can hardly see their manhood when they are peeing. And then when you tell them, bro, I think you need to work on your body, then they pull the trigger. We shall all die. After all, we shall all die. Yeah, bro, we want to die all, but although we shall all die, why should we be careless? Well, this is someone who know that they're broke. They do not have an active or at least a passive source of income, but they are living on their comfort zone. They are sleeping for very long hours, like the world belongs to them. But these same people, they don't want to miss their breakfast, they don't want to miss their lunch, they want to have their supper prompt, but they're making no effort at all. Do you think this is the kind of company that we need to have in our inner circles? I think not. Because the more we entertain them, the more we will self-destroy. And that's not the goal. Our objective is to be better every day. So I think if in our circles we have people who are not concerned about improving themselves, people who are not concerned about personal development, it could be time for us to think twice. Thinking twice probably may mean asking them to up their game or we cut them off. Because again, life is not about keeping everything. It's only about keeping what's valuable to us and what can get us from stage A to stage B. And that includes people. So if somebody is not willing to fit into a game, especially when the game is what deserves to be played, then it could be time for us to think twice. We need people who are not petty and not too jealous. Maybe for people who are married or engaged, some level of jealousy is healthy, but not too much. Nobody wants a person who is talking their phone. They want to monitor every call, every text, every email coming into their phone. No. Because that means you are probably shifting focus from what's important and you're bringing focus to what's not important. Stalking other people is not going to up your bank account. Stalking other people is not going to improve your health. In fact, if anything, that is giving people free rent free. That's like allowing people to live rent free in your mind. And most minds, such minds are empty. Everything should be done with moderation. Pettiness, extreme pettiness is dangerous. That's not to say that life is that serious and that we should live life at gunpoint. No. Of course, we need some time to tolerate some pettiness. But when it's overly too much, it becomes dangerous. And you know, no matter how good something is, too much of it is dangerous. Even if you're eating healthy food, if you're eating too much of it, that's not going to be healthy for you. So pettiness is something that we need to pay close attention to when we are deciding the kind of people we allow into our lives. And the issue of pettiness also comes around when you are with friends. You know, there are people who get angry for nothing. For nothing. Somebody makes a slight joke and they blow up. Like the world is coming to an end. And that's a demonstration, a clear demonstration of lack of emotional intelligence. We need to understand the circumstances, the present circumstances, and act accordingly, act appropriately. But when our world and our souls are consumed in pettiness, then the world will not fail to blow up. And you know, when it blows up, we destroy relationships, and it can even make you miss a business deal. And if you know you are petty, do not drag your pettiness into the lives of other people. Just know when to act. Just know how to behave. You're not going to come into a serious conversation and then you want to bring us stories of your, stories of your neighbor that don't concern us when we are discussing the next big project in town. Let us respect conversational spaces. Now, there are those people who don't make effort at all. You know them, you have them in your circles. I too used to have them. But I gave them a break. People who don't make effort. If you have someone in your circles who is not making effort, that could not be the right company for you. Think about this. Somebody has graduated, maybe high school graduate, college, vocational training center, TVET, technical training center, or even university. This person has graduated, and then they are waiting for the government to bring a job and place it in their hands. Our world today does not operate that way. It needs people to make effort. Now, if you have people in your circles who are not making effort, think twice. Because these are the people, mostly, who complain about anything and everybody but themselves. They think that life and the world owes them something. And if you're such kind of a person who does not make effort, remember, your siblings, your parents if you have them, your guardians if at all you have them, the government and the world does not owe you anything. You are born into this world alone and you must fight to survive. Every day, there are many people who are getting into the job market willing to compete. Now, if you're not going to compete, then what do you expect? I once mentioned this in another show on Life Matters, that lifts don't find people at home. Lifts find people on the way. Now, somebody is not going to drive to your home because you are traveling to a town which he or she was heading to and tell you, hey. I imagine that you could today, at such a time, you could be traveling to this place. Please, can you come in? Let me give you a lift. Tangoja sana. Get out. Make effort. And if you have people, those people who are not making effort, those people who think life is a luxury, those people who think that things are supposed to work themselves out, if you have them in your circles, one message for them: ask them to up their game. Otherwise, make it clear that you're not going to associate with them for long. We need to be on a journey with people of like minds. In fact, calling them people who make no effort was a bit kind. We call them lazy fox. Yeah, lazy fox. We cannot have such people in our circles and expect to make progress. You know, these are the kind of people, even when they secure unemployment, they think that the company owes them salary even when they have not delivered. They think that the 2 years, the 3 or 4 years, or whatever number of years they spend in school guarantees them a higher payment, a higher remuneration. No. It's a competitive world. And if they're not making effort, and they are in our circles, we must think twice. Second last, if there are people in your circles that inspire you to be better, keep them. If there are people who don't inspire you to be better, think twice. Many times, people who inspire others to be better have good hearts. They want other people to progress. They want other people to improve. But people who don't care about themselves don't care about anybody else. How would you expect somebody who does not care about their progress to care about you? They're not going to give a damn because they want to keep you at base level where you can be manageable, where they can twist you and bake you into whatever they like. They tell you, hey, you got some, they tell you, hey, we're going for a party today. Come, let's go. You know that you have timelines for your client projects that you're supposed to deliver, but instead of spending your time to work on the projects that are meaningful to you, things that put bread on your table, you allow yourself to be carried away by people who don't have ambition, by people who are not interested in your growth, who are not interested in inspiring you to become better. You join them for a party, you begin to delay, projects start to be cancelled, clients start to cancel projects, and then you lose your bread, life starts to become difficult. If you're a husband, if you have a household, your finances go down, you're forced to downsize your living standard, your children are sent home for school fees because of a silly mistake that you make of not prioritizing things. We need people in our circles who can inspire us to become better. And inspiring us does not have to be by their words. Action speaks louder than words. We want to keep a closer eye, a closer watch at what they do, more than what they say. What they say might be important, but what they do is what really matters. So, if the people you have in your circles are not inspiring you to become better, think twice. Remember, not everyone, including the people whom you think are your friends, want the best for you. Some just want to check on you to know how you're progressing, and when they know that things are not working out, they're like happy that things are not working out, and they're relaxed and chilled, and so we're not gonna keep such kind of people. Because they're not the right people to be around. They're not the right kind of persons to bring around. Let's check on that. And as we check on that, let's also think inward. Are we the kind of people who can inspire others to be better? Or we are all jealousy, we don't want our friends to prosper, we don't want our siblings to prosper. When somebody gives you some good news, you just give a service smile, but deep in your heart, you're like, what the hell is going on? This person is progressing faster than I am doing. We travel on different roads. To some, the road may be smooth. To some, the road may have potholes. But the destination is what matters. Let us be the kind of people who can inspire others, not only by our words, but profoundly by our actions, so they can be better persons. And lastly, the people we have in our circles should be people who care about themselves. How do you expect somebody who does not care about themselves to care about you? I mean, it does not add up. If somebody cares about themselves, it may not guarantee that they can care about you, but at least they have the momentum and the potential that they can care about somebody else, that they can care for someone else. If somebody is not interested in living a healthy lifestyle, what makes you think that this person is gonna like the idea that you're working towards living a healthy lifestyle? If somebody is not interested in taking care of their bodies, for example, how do you expect that this person is gonna be happy when they see you eating fine, working out, having a strong body? You think they'll be happy about it? Such people always want you on their level. So if the kind of people we have are not people who care about themselves, and it is very much easier to identify people who don't care about themselves by observing their lives, careless with everybody and everything. In terms of food, they have no standards. In fact, there's this old saying that people use, that they eat everything except metal. That is greed. You get, if it's meat, you get pork, you eat. even when your values denounce that you should not be eating that kind of food. You get mandazi, you eat. You get bread, you eat. You get this, you eat. You eat at your place, you come to my place. You know very well, maybe you are full, you want to eat again, then we go to another friend's place, you want to eat again, eating. I hope that these tips will help us not only to be intentional about the friends we choose, about the people we allow into our circles, but also help us so we can be the right people that other people would love to have in their circles. The Bible tells us that iron sharpens iron. Let us work on ourselves. Let us improve and be the best we can. Remember, it does not happen instantly. It takes time. Let us be patient with oneself. And don't get me wrong, I haven't said that we go and scrap off the friends we have. Everybody fits into our life for a purpose. But let us be wise on the people that we are allowing into our central nervous system. Think about the inner circle as the earth's crust. Think about it as the trunk of a tree upon which all branches and fruits draw their lives. Think about the engine. Think about this as the engine of a car. You know, if a car has a flat tire, that can be quickly replaced. If the bumper is destroyed, that can be quickly replaced. If the windshields break, they can be quickly replaced. But what happens when the engine fails? It's almost like assembling the vehicle anew. It takes time to dismantle the engine piece by piece, piston by piston, cleaning it piece by piece, and then bringing it up together. Now, instead of going through that long process, why don't we maintain our engines, that's our inner circle, in a healthy condition? Let us take good care of ourselves and let's make the effort. Now, as we wrap up the show, let me see whether we got anything here. Let me see. Yeah, thank you, Lydia Rioba. You're saying, working on ourselves it is. Big up, big up. Who else is here? Dina, I don't know, that second name is Jesse or Guess, I don't know. But good to see you, Dina. Thank you so much for rocking with us. Get Meshach, great insights there. Thanks, brother. Amazing. Good to see you. You guys showing us the love. Thank you so much for always rocking up with me. Evelyn Odhiamba says, great. Jared Onkoba, thanks, brother. You're saying lovely presentation. Geoffrey Agwati, you're sending us love hearts. Thanks. Thanks, man. Damaris Kemunte is saying, Jengo. Yeah, we respect every work matters. So long as we're not stealing from anyone, so long as we're engaging in legitimate, offering legitimate services and selling legitimate goods, we are on the same page. All right, I think that's all we have from here. We want to say goodbye to the show today. I have enjoyed doing this. I'm happy, I'm satisfied, I'm content that we are growing. So until next time, my friends, this marks the end of our show. Peace. We are gone. Bye-bye.